His father sold their house and texted him a photo of the new car. The picture loaded slow, pixel by pixel. Sunlight on chrome. His father's hand resting on the hood, two fingers pointing like he'd just won something. Below it, a short line, finally paid off. He didn't reply. The phone stayed in his hand. The image burned. He looked around. The room still, the hum of traffic faint outside. He opened the drawer. The old house papers were still there, folded, yellowed, his name next to his father's. For a second, he almost laughed. Not from humor, from how clear it suddenly was. Then he dialed. 2 rings. "Hey," his father said. Calm. That same tone that always meant, "I've already decided. You sold it. I needed the money. You'll understand when you're older." "I'm 32. A soft chuckle came through the line. Exactly. He let the silence hang. He could hear the faint hum of traffic on the other end. Maybe the sound of the car engine idling. His father always talked around the noise, like he wanted the world to know he was busy. "You didn't have the right," he said finally. "I had the documents. It was my house. Our house." The line clicked, not even a goodbye. Just the sound of a car door slamming before it went dead. He sat for a long moment, phone still against his ear. Then he pulled open the lowest drawer, the one he hadn't touched in years. Inside, under some receipts and old bills, lay a small metal key, tarnished, cold, heavy. He turned it in his fingers, the metal leaving a faint mark on his skin. Outside, a car passed, low hum, sunlight flashing off paint. He looked up once, then closed his hand around the key. And for the first time, the air felt clear. He showed up at his father's place 2 days later. Same gravel driveway, same porch swing that never stopped creaking. The new car sat out front, shining like it belonged to someone else. His father opened the door before he could knock. "You didn't have to come," he said, voice even bored. "I wanted to talk." "About what?" "The house." "Yeah, about the house." His father stepped aside, slow, like doing him a favor. Inside, the air smelled of gasoline and lemon cleaner. On the counter sat a half-empty bottle of whiskey, glass sweating onto a pile of unopened mail. "It was mine too," he said. His father smirked. "You didn't want it. You never did." "That's not true. You left it years ago. You left everything years ago." He looked around. Same table, same dent on the wall from when a chair once hit it. The memory stayed sharper than it should have. "I just want to understand," he said quietly. His father poured himself another drink. "There's nothing to understand. I paid the taxes, the bills. I sold what was mine." There was a pause, not angry, just heavy. Then came the tone, that slow, dismissive rhythm he knew too well. "You're good at paperwork, right? You'll figure out another place to live." He didn't answer. His father's words hung in the room like smoke, dense, unavoidable. "You think I owe you something?" "No," he said. "Not anymore." His father laughed. "Don't get dramatic. You'll thank me someday." A house like that was falling apart. He watched his father's hands, steady, sure, never doubting themselves. Something inside him shifted then. No noise, no threat, just a clean break. He set down the glass. "Take care of the car," he said. Outside, gravel crunched under his shoes. The sound followed him to the street, dry, rhythmic, final. By the time he reached his truck, his face looked calm again. But something in his stillness had changed. The lawyer's office was quiet, the kind of silence that hums. A printer clicked somewhere behind the frosted glass. He sat across from a man in a gray suit, both of them watching the screen fill with scanned pages. His father's name appeared again and again, typed in the same faded font from the 1980s. His own name, too, smaller, second, but there. It was enough. The lawyer leaned closer. He used an outdated deed form. Half the ownership was still legally yours. How outdated? By 30 years. He nodded once. Not surprise, just confirmation. He spent the next few evenings digging through boxes, folders, anything that smelled of dust and old paper. Each sound, the rip of tape, the scrape of metal drawers, hit like a heartbeat. Precision was the only thing keeping his calm from turning into something else. When the last file printed, the lawyer looked up. If we file this, he loses everything from the sale, even the car. He closed the folder, then file it. For a moment, he let the words hang there. That small sentence felt heavier than any argument he could have ever had. At home, the printer hummed again, slower this time, deliberate. Sheets slid out one by one, warm against his fingers. The machine became the pulse of his revenge. He paused once, halfway through, hand resting on the edge of the table. A flicker of relief ran through him, brief, almost gentle. He told himself it wasn't about payback, just fairness. But fairness and payback were starting to sound the same. He slid the papers into an envelope, sealed it, pressed his thumb over the flap until it stuck. Outside, rain began, soft, uneven taps against the window. The rhythm almost matched the hum of the printer still cooling behind him. He turned off the light and stood in the dark for a while, the key to the old house lying next to the envelope. For a second, it looked like both belonged to someone else now. Then he reached for the key. The courtroom smelled like old carpet and stale coffee. His father sat 2 rows ahead, suit too new, shoulders too straight. The car keys hung from his finger, spinning slowly as if that sound could fill the silence. The lawyer spoke in calm, measured tones. The words invalid deed and shared ownership echoed off the walls like they belonged to someone else's story. His father didn't look back once. The verdict dropped like a dull note. The sale void. The property returned, the car included. His father's fingers froze mid-spin, keys hanging, motionless. He didn't smile, didn't move. Just watched the man who'd always filled every silence finally lose his voice. Outside, the air was cold enough to sting. His father walked past him without a word, suit jacket clutched in one hand, tie slightly loose. The keys weren't in his fingers anymore. For a long moment, he watched the man move down the steps, shoulders smaller, steps uneven. There was no victory in it, just the quiet geometry of consequence. The lawyer came out behind him, folder tucked under one arm. "You did the right thing," he said. He didn't answer. Right didn't feel like the word. He stood there until the sound of his father's shoes faded into traffic. Then he opened the folder again, page after page of clean, ordered proof. It felt almost sterile now, stripped of anger, stripped of warmth. He looked up at the sky, dull gray, no rain, just air thick with exhaust and wind. The car, the house, the years between them, all balanced now in a way that didn't feel fair, didn't feel cruel, just exact. He closed the folder and walked away, leaving nothing undone. By the time he reached the end of the block, the courthouse was behind him. The sound of his steps matched the rhythm of that printer again, steady, final. Something inside him went quiet. Not peace, just silence where noise used to be. 3 months later, he heard the knock before sunrise. Soft, hesitant, not how his father used to knock. He opened the door. The old man stood there, suitcase in hand, coat too thin for the weather. For a second, neither spoke. Steam rose from their breath, mixing in the cold air. "I don't have anywhere else," his father said finally. He nodded once, stepped aside. "Come in." The house was quiet. Same wooden floors, same faint smell of cedar and dust. The walls still carried tiny scratches from his childhood, marks that never got painted over. His father looked around slowly, eyes catching on the framed photo of the house in its better days. "You kept that," he said. "Yeah." He set the suitcase by the couch. "You can stay here for a while," he said. "You'll have to follow a few rules, though." His father frowned. "Rules? Meals at set times. Lights out after 10. No drinking inside." That's ridiculous. That's what you used to tell me. The silence that followed wasn't angry, just stripped bare. The kind that fills every corner and makes sound unnecessary. For the next few days, they moved around each other like ghosts. His father followed the rules at first, out of pride, maybe, or guilt. But by the end of the week, the old man snapped. "You're enjoying this," he said, voice rough, shaking. He didn't look up. "No, you're acting just like me." He paused, hands still on the table. When he finally spoke, it was quiet, almost calm. "Yeah," he said. "Only difference is, this time it's my house." His father stared at him for a long second, then sat down slowly, shoulders folding inward. The air shifted, not warm, not cold, just real. On the table, the old key lay where the light from the window caught it. The same key he'd once kept hidden in a drawer. He picked it up, turned it once in his hand, then set it back down. Outside, a car passed, faint hum, fading fast. He didn't look out, just turned the key once in his hand and let it go.